Happy Take Apart Tuesday, Make Believers. In this video, I am going to take apart this 1995 Buzz Lightyear action figure. I'm just gonna get started, and as we go, I'll kind of explain the purpose of this video, and I'll also let you know kind of what I'm doing as I go. First thing we're gonna do is take off the jetpack. So we have these 3 screws on the back of the jetpack here. We're just going to unscrew them. Oh, I was missing a screw there, look at that. So one of the reasons I'm making this video is, Toy Replay, we just want to encourage people to care more, and we're starting with toys. So one of the ways to care more about something is to know it better, to understand it better, and we can understand more about toys by taking them apart sometimes. This might help you fix this toy if you have this toy and need to fix it. Might also be that you just think it's cool to see the inside of things. Have this little container here to put screws in. And I'm gonna try to kind of keep screws separated by other screws that are the same. Those two don't look exactly the same. So I'm gonna guess that the deep one goes there. So this is the jetpack. We can take this apart now by the 4 screws that are hidden inside the jetpack when it's on Buzz's pack. So I'm gonna set Buzz aside for a moment, and we'll take these out. Another reason that I am taking this Buzz Lightyear apart is I'm gonna do a custom mod on it. And I figured if I'm gonna take them apart anyway, I may as well document it so that you all can see what's inside a Buzz Lightyear. This one is a Buzz Lightyear that I used for parts to fix another Buzz Lightyear from 1995. If you're interested in seeing that video, I'll put it in the description below or in the cards up here. The inside of this jetpack was pretty dirty, so that's another reason you might want to take this apart. If it was binding up and you had suspicions that it was because there was gunk inside, you could clean it out. And this is the broken Buzz. So if you're interested in seeing what this looks like complete and fully functioning, you can check out that video where I fixed the other Buzz Lightyear. Those are the wing release mechanism pieces. There's Buzz's pack. Get the dirt out of our way. Cool, so I'm gonna set this stuff aside for now. And the next thing we're gonna do is take out the 5 main screws on the back of Buzz's body. This particular screwdriver has a magnetic tip that sort of helps get these screws out. So far I've only run into 2 different size screws. They're basically the same size, just a few are a little bit shorter. There's that one. All right, so now we should be able to separate this back of Buzz Lightyear from the front of Buzz Lightyear. There's one more screw here. This black part is actually the same piece of plastic as this. So we have to take out that screw. We may have to take out these as well. All right, let's see if we can get the back of Buzz Lightyear separated from the front of him. Oh, we're getting somewhere here. I must have a screw that's still holding on. Okay, so at this point, Buzz's arms will come free from his arm sockets. Okay, so there's an arm. And let it be noted that the plastic ring on the arm socket goes on the inside of the body and acts like kind of a washer there. All right, we'll see if we can get this off here. Okay, cool. Wow, there's so much going on in here. All right, so these guys are the sides of the helmet. Hold the helmet on. Those come out as soon as these are free. the rotating part of his helmet will be freed. This arm is free, but it has wires running through it out to the laser. So it won't come out right away. Oh, this is really cool. All right, so the speaker, Buzz's speaker, is here in the center of his body, and it actually points downward. It's a round speaker housed in the same purple plastic that we see in some other areas of Buzz's body. And it points straight down. All right, neato. This is Buzz's voice box here, and it is connected to the back of Buzz's body here. Now, I'll be able to take, oh cool, look, there's his head. His head is sort of molded on there. I'm not going to take this apart. That's not something I can safely take apart and be able to get back together. There's Buzz. Buzz Lightyear to the rescue! Cool. Now I'm not going to remove these wires from the battery compartment, but we can separate the front of the body from the back of the body by unscrewing this part here. This part is the 3 buttons on the front of Buzz Lightyear, and those will come unscrewed right here. This is a new kind of screw. So this is the shortest screw I've seen so far, and it goes in the button housing. So now, the front, let's see, the 3 buttons. This is the plastic piece that allows the buttons, all 3 buttons, to press the electronic component that makes Buzz talk. These teeny tiny pieces come out of here. Whew, how cool. And then each of the buttons comes out. Blue, green, and red. This piece separates just by sliding off. It's pretty cool. And the last thing we would do if we really wanted to take this completely apart, which is kind of my goal with this video, is to unscrew the red button from the front of Buzz's chest. And that has this arm that presses this mechanism that releases the wings. Nice. This is another one of the very small screws. And then the button comes out of the front of Buzz's suit, and it has a spring on it. So now the chest plate of Buzz's uniform is completely free from the rest of the figure. We can release this back part of his helmet by pressing on 2 tabs on either side. Okay, so it came free as soon as I got the other side out. And I think we're doing okay here. Next, the legs will come out just by sliding off. And there's Buzz's legs. Now, the speaker comes easily out of the plastic case that holds it. And I'm gonna see if we can take apart an arm. So that is the inside of Buzz's arm. That shoulder joint was held together by one of the longest screws. Actually, that is the shoulder joint. That is the 4th screw I've encountered so far. It is the longest screw. The longest screw I've seen so far is in this shoulder joint. And the shoulder joint will separate from the upper arm. This is pretty amazing. Here is a closer view of this. What we got going on here. It's pretty cool. We can separate all of this even further by taking this. These separate. I don't know if this separates from this. Doesn't appear to. Okay. Let's keep unscrewing. Elbow joint. It's another one of the longest screws. Forearm held together by the second smallest screw. So I'm going to go ahead and guess at this point that there are probably 4 sizes of screws in this action figure. And there is the LED. That comes apart there. And it seems to me that the sort of chrome-plated hinge pieces here, they're tightly attached to these gray pieces that I'm not going to mess with them. But we do have both parts of the forearm, and the hand is now separated. Cool. So here is kind of all of the pieces. Let's see, does this come off? Yep, we'll go ahead and take this off. So here is the button for the laser on Buzz's upper arm. We can remove that button by taking out these screws. Nope. Okay, that is a smaller screw, I think. Yes, I have found a smaller screw for the back of the laser button. So maybe we'll find some more of those screws. So 5 sizes of screws so far. And there's the laser button and another one of these little red things. A little red rubber kind of depressor that activates this component and makes Buzz's laser fire. Put that in there. And we'll put the button in there. All right. Wave to the camera, Buzz. Now this piece will separate by sliding off, just like the front did. And that is almost as much as this will come apart. There's another mechanism here. This is part of the mechanism that makes Buzz's wings release. I'm not going to take that off. And this is all one solid piece. And all of these wires are attached. So I'm not gonna mess with that. We'll set that aside. So I'm gonna go ahead and take apart the other arm. All of these pieces separate. They fit together nicely. This is good stuff. There we go. So that is an entire arm disassembled. And now to the legs. The upper leg is held together with smaller, medium-sized screws. 3 smaller, medium-sized screws in the upper leg. And there's a spring. Oh, that's cool. So there's a little spring that keeps the tension against the ball joint in Buzz's hip. And in this one, that tension spring and rubber stopper is in the front side of the ball joint and not in the back. When I put this back together, I might try to stretch that spring out a little bit before I put it together, and we'll see if his joints firm up at all. The rubber stopper does separate from the spring. The front and back of the leg separate. And 3 of the medium-sized screws hold together the lower leg. They're the smaller of the medium-sized screws. This is pretty cool, man. We got the ankle joint and the knee joint and how they fit into this lower leg. So the knee joint, this is cool. This is super cool. I'll set aside the 2 parts of the leg there. Knee joint, another long screw. Ankle joint has a small medium screw. Just like in every other joint, the chrome plated part of the joint is attached to one side of the joint ball. And we'll see what happens when we take the bottom of the foot off. There we have it. So that's it. I'm going to null this guy out and we'll see all the pieces on the screen in one shot. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to Toy Replay if you love seeing cool videos about cool toys. Watch out for my custom mod that I'm gonna do of this figure. And please watch my Disney toy playlist if you like Disney toys. Play on, make believers.